Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today we're going to be looking at the patch 7.4 media site, which was just posted today. Today's Thanksgiving here in the States. Honestly, I'd kind of forgotten to even think to look for this week, but yeah, we're at about that timing. So we're going to be taking a look at the screenshots, the descriptions of everything, especially the MSQ. I'm curious what it's going to tease. And yeah, we're going to generally go through it. First of all, every time I see the artwork, it's it's one of my favorite patch artworks that we've ever actually had. So it's really, really fun to see. You can see some of the new characters that we're going to be fighting. We have, what's it called? Where is it? So we have the red-haired Elizin here on the left. We have this guy here who I don't think we haven't met them. But then we have, M4 here, M1, M5, M3. It's unfortunate to see him. Obviously, there's the hope that Hector comes back for one of the fights here, because we want like the brute underbomber or something like that. Like he was the fight in 2 of the tiers, so putting him in the 3rd tier, he's just kind of recognizable. We've got M8, M6, M2. Wait a minute. M2, M3, M7, M6. So yeah, these guys. Okay, yeah. I'm remembering now. My thought was that these two are going to be a tag team match in some capacity, maybe with us and Black Cat against them. I mean, 1 versus 2 might not be, a bad idea either. Yeah, because like I was thinking to myself, like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I remember thinking that. And then so I'm thinking this will probably be M9, M10, M11, and then I guess I don't think the CEO is going to be the champion at the same time. I think it's going to be like we beat the champion and then the CEO, which everyone thinks we're going to fight Matem. I think that's a fair assessment. But yeah, if there's no brute, if there's no brute bomber reference, or at the very least if it's not something that's super stretched out, if anything, I would expect to see him against the CEO, like the CEO calls on like the brute under bomber or something like that. But anyway, I'm super excited. December 16th, yeah. Okay, Into the Mist. This is actually something that I'm incredibly curious about, because 7.4 is effectively the start of 8.0's story. So it's a lot to say about it. The machinations of Calix and the Preservation have been thwarted, releasing Alexandria from the throes of chaos. As the nation's people begin to move forward, so too must the Warrior of Light's companions. As for Kryl, this means turning to face the question that has trailed her like a second shadow through her once foreign homeland. Okay, so we are getting a little bit more into Kryl. One of the chief complaints about Kryl's story in Dawntrail was that she was presented as this main character. And we kind of had her along, and then we met her parents, and then it was over. Like, there was literally just, like, so little that Kryl actually had to do with pretty much anything, and it was a major point that people were looking forward to. So it seems that in order to push our story ahead to the next bit, we are going to be looking into Kryl's history in particular. And given that her parents are the ones that have, in all honesty, been mostly doing the interdimensional, like, hopping and whatnot, like, they're the ones with the key, who use the key, who, if you've done Alo, they came from way back when. It's something that is very important, that ties together a lot of lore and story in a lot of different locations. So I can't wait to see what they actually decide to do with this. I wanted a little bit more of a description, but that's just because I'm impatient, not because they needed to give me more. The Arcadion heavyweight division. So yeah, we've got the red-haired woman. We saw this screenshot already, and we saw this screenshot already. These are both shown at the last live letter. With the cruiserweight division conquered, the unstoppable upstart now rises into the fearsome heights of the heavyweight tier. The threat of psycho necrosis ever looms, and to claim its cure, you must seize the grand champion's crown and make your rightful ascension. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite that simple. But yeah, you can see they're ready to go. They're ready to fight. The new dungeon, Mistwake, going to be part of the MSQ, of course. As adventures past make way for journeys new, the Warrior of Light, Kryl, and their companions descend into the long lost land shrouded in mist and mystery. So a big thing to remember with the patch name, Mist. Mist is used in a couple of different Final Fantasy games, most notably in Final Fantasy IX. It is, literally the continent you start the game on is the Mist continent. And it's one of the most key aspects of the story. It's used to create the Black Mage race. It's harnessed for that reason. And a lot of it is really used as part of the acquisition of the planet. It's a whole thing of Final Fantasy IX. We're not going to go into the whole thing, but it plays a very important role. And so the fact that they seem to be going into that a lot is also going to probably play an important role. It's also a part of Final Fantasy XII. It's kind of like just really dense ether in the air. If you've ever played, you might remember Fran kind of goes, the Viera kind of go feral when they are exposed to the mist. And Ivy, do you need to be using the litter box? Right? I don't know if you can hear it, but she takes like 10 years to use the litter box, and she just digs nonstop. But we've got some screenshots here. We've seen this screenshot and we've seen this screenshot. We've got some more of the outside screenshots here. I believe we had determined that we were in Treno, or we were beneath Treno at some point in the story, and then probably in the dungeon underneath it as well. Looks like that's going to continue to be the case here. That is one of the wildest looking horses I've ever seen. I do not recall this horse from another Final Fantasy game, but that is a wild looking horse. And then we've got the actual armor set. That's an interesting armor set to come from this dungeon. So we have a couple sets in the game that are somewhat similar. Nothing quite so samey. I really like the robe with the chest plate over the top of it. But this is like secret society stuff. Now, given the story is moving in the direction of the Winterers, it's possible that Mistwake has some sort of tie-in with the Winterers, and so they kind of are trying to give that mysterious vibe with the armor set. It's a pretty good looking set. I don't know how any of it will look individually. I guess it depends on how the cowl goes into a cape in the back. Like, you can see it, but I guess I feel like that's gonna be one of the more important bits. But I think it's a pretty decent looking set, but I'm not a glam guy, so I guess who really cares what I think at the end of the day. Hell on Rails. So this is, for those who don't know, Final Fantasy VIII's Doom Train. Not to be confused with Final Fantasy VI's Phantom Train, as a lot of people do regularly refer to Final Fantasy VI's Phantom Train as Doom Train. It happens. That's not accurate, but I've seen it happen a decent amount, plenty. So yeah, we've got them. That's why he's got that interesting looking face. And if you look at his back, now we actually have a good image of his back. It looks like he's made almost entirely of electrope, if I wasn't mistaken, which is, I suppose, a good way of making it work. And yeah, I figured we'd be fighting on the back of a cargo hold in front of it, because that's how we fought Phantom Train way back when. But yeah, with a crack like thunder and a hellacious howl of metal, an unholy locomotive hurtles down the tracks, and only the Warrior of Light stands in its way. Yeah, I wonder if this thing was in Mistwake and we like woke it up, and now we're trying to stop it from going all the way into Alexandria, or trying to protect it in some capacity from going into Alexandria. But I mean, as you can see, we're clearly, in the thunder, where we can see the skies here. So this is definitely within the dome or within the ninth itself. So that's it. I'm just really curious how this is all going to pan out, because I did not expect Doom Train to be a trial. Let me tell you, especially the Final Fantasy VIII Doom Train and Final Fantasy IX's like area expanded. Who knows? Maybe we're getting more we've already gotten a lot of Final Fantasy VIII stuff. Like, if you've done Eden, like the entire ending of Final Fantasy VIII is pretty much in Eden, so it'd be a little strange to do more. But I mean, I wouldn't complain. Maybe it's just some reference points. As long as it's well done, it's all that matters. Tsukuyomi's Pain. This is the new Unreal. We don't really need to read the description. It says the same thing almost every time. This is actually on the harder side of Extreme Trials coming out of Stormblood. Seiryu was definitely on the easiest side of the trials, other than of course the actual launch trials and that of Lakshmi and Susanoo. Which, when are we getting Susanoo, Ravana? I want those Unreals. Why are they just not doing them? Big thing, do not use my Tsukuyomi guide. Our day one strat is what I posted in the guide. That's generally how I've always done my guides. Whatever my team actually figures out is what I post, because that way it's our guide. It's not the guide. It's the guide that we use to win. It's how we won. But the big thing is going to be the meteor placements. If I recall correctly, it's like support left, tank right, DPS forward. And that's relative to looking at the side of the room that's shrinking. So like the side that becomes like a waning moon, you like look directly at it, and then it's like healer, tank. Actually, it's probably healer, tank, DPS, but you know, supports left, right, DPS forward just makes more sense in my head. And that's the key thing. The last phase can also get people pretty easily. I mean, other than that one mechanic, my old guide pretty much has everything that you would need. It's just that one mechanic, the meteor placements, is the one thing I wouldn't follow. But it's harder than Seiryu. So if you were riding off the high of free Unreal clears every week, then you're not going to have quite the same luck with Tsukuyomi. And that's it for what is actually on the site for now. Here is some other stuff. Here's like the overall being listed here. We have the new main scenario quest. Very excited for that. Very, very highly anticipated. A lot of rides on 7.4, making a good impression story-wise for some people. The heavyweight division, please don't let the whole story be like a show. Like, let there have actually been stakes this whole time. I know some people think, oh, we're going to find out that this was all the CEO was just writing it, and it was all, and Hector's alive, and everything's fine, and there's no psychonecrosis. Like, no. Don't do that. That would be a terrible way to end it. Variant Dungeon, The Merchant's Tale. We'll be seeing more about that in the live letter next week. The new Dungeon Mistwake, new Trial Hell on Rails, of course, an extreme version. New Unreal, Tsukuyomi's Pain, new Frontline campaign. I'm very curious what the rule set is. All we know about Warcore Cherte is that it is like varying weather conditions that change the like how the field needs to be navigated, or like how the mechanics will work on the field. Something we'll find out more again in the next live letter. Occult Crescent update: 3 new Phantom jobs, the new actual weapon enhancement Phantom weapons. You will be able to do the next one inside the Occult Crescent. There's going to be new accessories that drop inside the Occult Crescent that drop from all the different activities, and we'll see if there's any other changes other than that. Also a reminder, they did say that this expansion, maybe the last time they do relics the same way. We don't know what that means, but I'm sure we'll do a one-time step inside of Occult Crescent or outside of Occult Crescent. I think we have a choice this time again. And then we'll pay 1,500 tomes, and I'll hate it. You know, that'll be fine. And conceivably further, Hildebrand Adventures. It's been a solid Hildebrand patch so far. Hildebrand expansion thus far. Ever since they took that break in Stormblood, the quality's gone up considerably. Manderville, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about Air Force One, the Sedalis. I mean, I love Air Force One. It's just, you know, I've been waiting for a new Air Force One for a long time, and now I'm like kind of past the idea, but I'm going to do the Sedalis occasionally. I mean, I still need a lot of MGP. I don't farm it as much as other people do. Cosmic Exploration on the new planet Oasis, and the new tool enhancement for the Cosmic Tools. We also know there's going to be like an archaeology style thing that you can do there, a new activity altogether on top of the usual stuff, plus quality of life added to some of the usual stuff on the planets. The strategy board, as we like to call it, the raid planner, as it was initially produced. Hopefully it does well. I don't expect the actual external raid plan to go away. I actually expect this to work in tandem, because some people are going to want an external raid plan no matter what. They're going to want to be able to study the fight maybe while they're at work, or while they're out, while they're not on the game itself. They may just want to have a studying material. But the raid planner in-game makes it a resource that everyone can share that matches the external raid plan, that people can then even keep up on their screen whenever they get to a new mechanic, to help show them what to do and remind them, instead of, you know, glancing over at their phone or another monitor, which is something a lot of people do when they are learning a fight for the first time. So I expect it to be a supportive tool for what we are already using, and not a replacement. Especially useful for console players to have something that, you know, like I mentioned with looking over at the other monitor and whatnot. New user interface, the command panel. This is basically just a bunch of slots with, you know, tabs that you can put like combat actions on. That way you don't have to like flood your hotbar with non-combat actions, or try to fit non-combat actions on your hotbar, or make macros to change your hotbar between. You don't have to do all that. Just use the command panel now, and that'll be much easier. The glamour update. Glam almost completely unrestricted, other than race-specific glams. That is going to be the only restriction, I believe, that is still in place. And yeah, I mean, people have wanted that for a long time. People have been modding to do that for a long time, and now they don't have to. Elegant Tomestones of Mnemonics. People keep coming to me asking what's going on with the cap on mnemonics. This is exactly the same as it has been. They will be capped at 450, and then at some point, I think it'll be 7.55 or 7.58. I don't remember which. They will be raised to 900. By that point, do you care? Probably not. Could they raise it earlier? Absolutely. Will they? I don't think so. But yeah, a lot of people have been coming to me asking why I'm not talking more about mnemonics, and not the, like, that they're not capped at 450. I was like, no, they're definitely capped at 450. Trust me. New crafting recipes, no surprise there. No new crafting or gathering gear, as a reminder, other than the upgraded tool. Mounts, minions, emotes, additional duty support, new theme. Oh my god, I forgot about the clear green and clear white. And more. Some content will be made available in future patches. Yeah, big thing to expect. Occult Crescent update, probably not till February, if I had to guess. I don't know when they'll do Cosmic. I don't know when they'll do it. I don't want it to be at the exact same time, but like with the 2 extra weeks for Savage, you could maybe wait a week after that and then do it. And then I really don't want them to like delay everything just because they're delaying Savage. I would prefer that like a week or 2 after Savage is Oasis and whatever other thing. And then when they do point X5, I assume that's when the Occult Crescent and Phantom Weapon updates will be. But yeah, pretty full patch. 7.4 is looking really solid, especially between the quality of life and the actual new content that we're getting. And I'm excited. We also will be going into 2026 soon. And we will have 3 FanFests that year. And patch 7.5, which is looking overstuffed. Again, going into 8.0, really hope they don't have a 7.5 situation again. It just looks like there's way too much that's going to be in 7.5X as a whole. And yes, I know it's the longest wait until the expansion, so maybe they do need more. I think it's right to say they probably want more content in 7.5X. It just can't be full of things you talked about at the FanFest 2 years prior. It probably needs to be full of things that, you know, were designed for 7.5 and, you know, that gap that it needs to fill. Or if you are going to release things in 7.5, don't talk about them at FanFest. Save them for that later, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap for our overview on the patch 7.4 special site. Let me know what you thought in the comment section of the video below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy Thanksgiving, fellow US people, and take care.